I've been a Christian for over 30 years, and I have to say in the last couple years though, I'd been thinking a lot about those 40 days after Jesus died. Why did he spend those next 40 days on earth? Why didn't he just go straight back to heaven? Why stick around? What was the point? Why did I write the book? Well, it was really to explore those 40 days and see, kind of answer the so what question to that, and what implications did that have for us today, and to encounter anew, maybe in a new way, the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and to see, then begin to see through that lens everything that we do on this earth. That to me is really important, that we have sort of a resurrection lens, because it certainly puts things in perspective for us. I'm in a cemetery, a modern-day equivalent to the place where the most astonishing news in human history was ever delivered. A tomb where dead people lay. Who ever wants to visit a cemetery? I mean, why would we? It forces us, after all, to come face to face with our own mortality, to realize that someday we're going to end up here. It symbolizes a loss of loved ones, of friends, acquaintances, and it's a loss that can leave us feeling hurting, desperate, and grieving. And you know, I can't help but wonder if that might have been a bit of what those women, those early women followers of Christ, were feeling as that Sunday morning when they went to the tomb to prepare Jesus' dead body for burial. So they finish up telling him, some of those who were with us went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but him they did not see. And he said to them, O foolish ones, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory? And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. That must have been an amazing history lesson. As we come to the story of Christ's first community appearance, it's helpful, I think, to think a little bit about what else happened that day. Let's use all of our senses to imagine what it must have been like for the women at the tomb to see Jesus alive after they'd watched him die, or to touch his feet, or Mary to hear his voice call to her, Mary. If there were a modern day person out of all these we've looked at so far, whom Jesus had encountered during those 40 days, I think it would be the person of Thomas. Thomas is, in a lot of ways, I think so much like so many of the people that, in my life at least, who say, I would believe in Jesus if I could see him with my own eyes, or I would believe in him if he appeared to me in the same way that he did to Thomas. Thomas had the luxury of good friends he had spent 3 years traveling with, who said that they had seen the risen Jesus. Why then did he not trust their voices? But when we come to the person and the disciple of Peter, how can we think of anything but the word passion? We know more about him than we do any other disciple in all of the Gospels. I personally find comfort in that because we know how passionate and yet impulsive Peter was, how, in a word, human he was. So it was Peter who, out on the boat, said, Lord, let me walk to you on the water. And then once he's out there, he realizes what he's doing. The other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish, for they were not far from shore, about 100 yards. When they landed, they saw a fire of burning coals with fish on it and some bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish you have just caught." Well, that's really interesting to me because he's already cooking fish for them. Why does he need more? This is not just a statement about fish at that particular moment, but I think this is a setup for the recommissioning Peter's about to experience.